I watched my son raise his champagne glass at my retirement party, his smile wide and warm. "To Dad," Derek said, his voice carrying across the private dining room of Canlis. "After 40 years of brilliant work in software architecture, you've earned this rest." Everyone clapped. My colleagues from Microsoft, old friends from the neighborhood, even the mayor showed up. Vanessa, Derek's wife, stood beside him in her designer dress, phone already recording for her Instagram. She had 500,000 followers who apparently cared about every moment of her life. I smiled back. 70 years old, and I'd finally made it. Early retirement package, stock options that had matured beautifully, 3 patents still generating royalty checks. My late wife Sarah would have been proud, but something felt wrong. Maybe it was the way Derek kept checking his watch. Or how Vanessa's smile never quite reached her eyes when she looked at me. They'd been acting strange for weeks, ever since I'd mentioned the retirement party. I excused myself to use the restroom. As I stood up, I grabbed what I thought was my phone from the table. Same black case, same model. We'd joked about it before. In the bathroom, the phone buzzed. A notification lit up the screen. Voice memo, Dad dementia plan, final steps, 47 minutes ago. My hand froze on the faucet. The water kept running. I stared at those words, like they were written in a foreign language my brain refused to translate. Dad dementia plan. I pressed play with a finger that didn't feel like mine. Derek's voice came through, low and hurried. "Okay, so the appointment with Dr. Morrison is set for next Thursday. He owes me from that real estate deal, remember? He'll do the evaluation. Say Dad's showing early signs of cognitive decline." Vanessa's voice, sharper. "And you're sure he'll sign off on it? We can't mess this up, Derek. Not with this much money at stake. He'll do it. I've got the guardianship petition ready to file the same day. Once the court sees a doctor's evaluation, saying Dad can't manage his own affairs, we get control of everything." Vanessa laughed. It sounded like glass breaking. "The stock options alone are worth 12 million, plus the house in Medina, the patents, and we do it before he changes his will or sets up some trust. Mom's been gone 2 years. He keeps talking about donating to charity. Vanessa, we can't let that happen. I still think we should have started earlier. What if he already? He hasn't." I checked. No new trusts, no major charitable donations yet. But we have to move now. The longer we wait, the more risk he actually does something. The recording ended. I stood there, water still running, staring at my son's phone. My son, the boy I'd taught to ride a bike, who'd fallen asleep on my shoulder during long car rides, who'd cried in my arms when Sarah died. That boy was planning to declare me incompetent, to steal everything I'd worked for, everything Sarah and I had built. I turned off the water, dried my hands, took 3 deep breaths, like Sarah used to make me do when I was angry. Then I swapped the phones back. When I returned to the table, Derek was mid-story about some property he'd just listed. Vanessa was filming herself with the Seattle skyline behind her. I sat down and watched them. Really watched them. Derek's suit cost more than my first car. Vanessa's purse, I'd overheard her mention it was a Birkin, apparently ran $30,000. For a purse. Their Tesla was parked outside. Custom color. Every upgrade. And it still wasn't enough. "You okay, Dad?" Derek asked, concern painting his face. "You look tired." "Just thinking about your mother," I said. It wasn't a lie. I was thinking about Sarah. About how she'd seen something in Derek I'd refused to see. How she'd warned me 3 months before the cancer took her. "Derek's changed," she'd whispered from her hospital bed. "I don't know when it happened, but Marcus, be careful. He asks about money too much. About what we're leaving behind." I'd brushed it off. "He was just worried about us," I'd said. About our future care. Sarah had squeezed my hand. Too weak to argue. But her eyes had begged me to listen. I hadn't listened. The party continued. More toasts. A cake shaped like a computer. Jokes about my ancient code still running in Windows somewhere. I played along. smiled at the right moments, pretended everything was fine. But my mind was racing. Thursday. They'd scheduled it for Thursday. Today was Friday. I had 6 days. First, that night, I called my brother Vincent. He'd been a trusts and estates lawyer for 30 years before retiring to Whidbey Island. If anyone could tell me how bad this was, it was Vincent. Guardianship fraud, Vincent said after I'd explained everything. His voice was grim. Marcus, if a judge grants that petition, Derek gets control of everything. Your money, your property, where you live, your medical decisions, everything. You'd have fewer rights than a teenager. But I'm fine. I'm healthy. Any real doctor would. Doesn't matter. If Derek's doctor files paperwork saying you're incompetent, and Derek's a concerned son, with evidence, even fake evidence, judges tend to side with family, especially if you're older. They think they're protecting you. So what do? Vincent was quiet for a moment. How much do you trust me with my life? Then listen carefully. You're going to need to be smarter than you've ever been. And Marcus, you can't let Derek know you know. Not yet. We talked for 2 hours. By the end, I had a plan. It was risky. It required me to act, to play a role. But Sarah had always said I was a better actor than I thought. Time to prove her right. Monday morning, Derek called. Hey, Dad, you free for lunch this week? Of course, I said. Everything okay? Yeah. Just want to catch up. How about Wednesday? Wednesday. 2 days before the fake doctor appointment. He was setting the stage, getting me comfortable. Sounds great, son. We met at his favorite seafood place in Bellevue. Derek ordered us both martinis. I let him. Played the role of the recently retired man ready to relax, to indulge a little. You know, Dad, I've been thinking, Derek said, spinning his glass. You're going to have a lot more free time now. Have you thought about what you want to do? Travel, maybe. Your mother and I always wanted to see New Zealand. Something flickered in his eyes. Panic? That sounds expensive. I can afford it. Right, of course. But Dad, have you thought about, managing money can be stressful, especially at your age. Maybe it would be easier if someone helped you. I could. Are you offering to be my financial advisor? Well, yeah. I handle real estate deals worth millions. I know investments. And you could just relax, not worry about all those decisions. That's thoughtful, Derek. But I think I'm okay for now. His jaw tightened. Just for a second. Sure, Dad. Sure. Just offering. He checked his watch. Actually, I've got to run. Big showing at 3. But hey, I set up a doctor's appointment for you. Thursday morning. Just a general checkup. You know, make sure everything's good after all those years of stress at Microsoft. I didn't ask for a doctor's appointment. I know. But Dad, when's the last time you had a full physical? With Mom gone, someone's got to look out for you. There it was. The concerned son routine. I could see him already testing it, perfecting it for the judge. That's sweet of you, Derek, I said. But I can make my own appointments. It's already booked. Dr. Morrison, Thursday at 10. Come on, Dad. Do it for me. For peace of mind. I pretended to hesitate, then sighed. Okay. If it means that much to you. His smile was triumphant. Great. I'll pick you up at 9:30. After he left, I sat in my car and called Vincent. It's happening exactly like we thought. Good. Did you do the thing? Yeah. I pulled the small recording device from my jacket pocket, the one that looked like a pen. Got every word. Thanks for watching. And I'm I3. Again, perfect. Now, for the hard part. Marcus, you're going to have to give the performance of your life on Thursday. Can you do that? I thought about Sarah, about Derek planning to steal what we'd built, about the grandchildren I'd never had because Derek was too focused on his lifestyle to settle down and have kids. About all of it. I can do it. Thursday morning, Derek picked me up in his Tesla. Vanessa was in the passenger seat, her phone already out. I noticed she started filming as soon as I got in the car. "Morning, Dad," she chirped. "Excited for your checkup?" "I guess so," I said. I let my words slur just a little. Not much, just enough. Vanessa's eyes met Derek's in the rearview mirror. At Dr. Morrison's office, I played my part. I hesitated before signing my name on the clipboard. Took a moment too long to remember my birthday. Asked what year it was, then laughed it off as a joke, but let a flicker of confusion cross my face first. Derek watched everything, taking mental notes. The examination was a joke. Dr. Morrison asked basic questions, and I answered them just slightly wrong. Not obviously wrong, not like I was faking, but like a man whose mind was starting to slip. "What year is it, Mr. Chen?" I paused. 2023? "It's 2025, sir." Right. Sorry, I don't know where my head was. Dr. Morrison glanced at Derek. Derek nodded. Just a tiny movement. After the appointment, Derek drove me home. "Dad, Dr. Morrison mentioned he might want to run some more tests, just to be safe." "More tests?" "I feel fine." "I know. But sometimes these things are hard to notice yourself. We just want to make sure you're okay." "We?" Me and Vanessa. We worry about you, Dad. Alone in that big house." I let him see me process that. Let him see a flicker of fear. "I'm not sick, Derek. Of course not. We're just being cautious." When I got home, I called Vincent. "It's done." He took the bait. "How long do you think until he files?" "Could be today. Could be tomorrow. And I think Morrison will sign whatever Derek wants. Good thing we have our own plan then. Are you ready for what comes next?" I looked around the house Sarah and I had bought 30 years ago. The place where we'd hosted Derek's birthday parties, where she'd spent her last coherent weeks before the hospital, where Derek was planning to take from me. "I'm ready." 2 days later, Derek showed up at my door with papers. "Dad, we need to talk. Dr. Morrison is really concerned. He thinks you need help managing your affairs. Just temporarily, while they figure out what's going on." "What are you talking about?" "These are guardianship papers. They just mean I can help you with bills and stuff. Make sure you're taken care of." I looked at the papers, looked at my son. "You want me to give you control of my money?" "Dad, it's not like that. Get out." "What?" "Get out of my house, Derek. I'm not signing anything." His face changed. The concerned sun mask slipped, and I saw something cold underneath. "Dad, you're not thinking clearly. That's the whole point. You need help." I said, "Get out." He left. But I knew it wasn't over. If anything, it was just beginning. 3 days later, I got served. Guardianship petition filed by Derek Chen. Court date set for 2 weeks. Vincent came to Seattle. We went to meet the lawyer he'd recommended. Margaret Torres had been fighting guardianship fraud for 20 years. "They're going to present Dr. Morrison's evaluation," Margaret said, laying out the battlefield. "They'll have video of you appearing confused. They'll paint a picture of a grieving widower who can't cope alone. But I have the recording. Derek admitting it's a plan. That'll help. But we need more. We need to prove you're competent beyond any doubt. And we need to show Derek's real motivation. Which is money. Always is. Mr. Chen, do you mind if I ask how much are we talking about?" I told her. "The stock options. The patents. The house. The retirement accounts." She whistled low. "That's motive. Now we just need to prove it. And I know a private investigator who can help." The investigator's name was Rebecca Kim, former FBI. She started digging into Derek's finances and found the cracks immediately. "Your son is drowning," Rebecca reported a week later. "He's got a gambling problem. Online poker. Vegas trips he's hidden from Vanessa. He's down $400,000. Plus, he's leveraged to hell on some real estate deals that are going south. The Tesla? Leased. The house? Double mortgaged. He's a house of cards waiting to collapse. And Vanessa? She's spending money they don't have. That Instagram lifestyle? It's all fake. They're broke and panicking. Your retirement money isn't a bonus to them, Mr. Chen. It's a lifeline. The pieces clicked into place. This wasn't just greed. It was desperation. The court date arrived. Derek showed up with his lawyer, a slick guy named Patterson, who specialized in elder law. They had their evidence ready. Dr. Morrison's evaluation, videos of me looking confused, testimony about how I'd been declining since Sarah's death. I played my part. I dressed nicely, but not too nicely. Let my hand shake a little. When I picked up the water glass, let them think I was a confused old man who didn't understand what was happening. Patterson presented his case. He was good. He made Derek sound like a loving son, made me sound like a tragedy waiting to happen. Then Margaret stood up. Your Honor, I'd like to present evidence of my own. First, a cognitive evaluation of Mr. Chen, performed by Dr. Alice Wong at the University of Washington Medical Center. Dr. Wong, if you could read your findings. Dr. Wong stood. Mr. Chen scored in the 98th percentile for his age group on all cognitive tests. His memory is excellent. His reasoning is sharp. There is no evidence of dementia, cognitive decline, or any impairment whatsoever. Derek's lawyer objected. The judge overruled. Second, Margaret continued, I have a recording, made by Mr. Chen at lunch with his son, Derek Chen. Your Honor, I'd like to play it for the court. Derek's face went white. The recording played. His voice, Vanessa's voice, talking about the plan, the fake evaluation, the guardianship. The courtroom went silent. Your Honor, Margaret said, this isn't guardianship. This is fraud. This is a son attempting to steal his father's life savings by having him declared incompetent. Patterson was sputtering. Your Honor, that recording could be fake, taken out of context. Third, Margaret cut him off. I have evidence of Derek Chen's financial situation, provided by a private investigator. She handed documents to the judge. Derek Chen has gambling debts totaling $400,000. He's facing foreclosure on multiple properties. He needs his father's money not to protect it, but to save himself from bankruptcy. The judge looked at Derek. Is this true? Derek opened his mouth, closed it, looked at his lawyer. Your Honor, my client's financial situation is not relevant to his father's capacity. It's relevant to his motivation, the judge said sharply. Mr. Chen, did you coordinate with Dr. Morrison to produce a false evaluation of your father? Silence. I'll ask again. Did you attempt to defraud this court? Derek's voice came out small. I was just trying to help. By lying to a judge? By falsifying medical documents? The judge's voice could have cut steel. Mr. Patterson, I'm dismissing this petition, and I'm referring this case to the prosecutor's office for investigation into guardianship fraud and elder abuse. Derek stood up. Dad, please. I didn't mean we were just. Sit down, Mr. Chen, the judge said. You're in enough trouble. I didn't look at Derek. I couldn't. If I did, I might have felt sorry for him, and he didn't deserve that. The judge turned to me. Mr. Chen, I apologize that the court's time was wasted with this. You're clearly competent. I'm denying this petition in its entirety. Outside the courthouse, Derek tried to talk to me. Vanessa was crying, her phone clutched in her hand, probably watching her follower count drop in real time. Dad, please. You tried to steal my life, I said. Everything your mother and I built. You were going to take it all. I was desperate. The gambling, the debts. I didn't know what else to do. You could have asked for help, like a son. Instead, you tried to destroy me. Dad, I don't have a son anymore. I walked away. Vincent was waiting by his car. You okay? He asked. No, but I will be. 2 weeks later, Derek lost his real estate license. The investigation found he'd been falsifying documents for years. Not just for me. Vanessa's Instagram empire collapsed when someone leaked the truth about their finances. Her sponsors dropped her. Her followers vanished. They lost the house, the car, everything they'd been pretending to have. I could have felt satisfaction. Instead, I just felt tired. I scattered Sarah's ashes in New Zealand like we'd planned. Stood on a beach in the South Island and told her she'd been right about Derek. She usually was. When I got back, I met with Margaret and Vincent. I want to set up a trust. Put everything in it. The house, the stocks, the patents. And I want it to go to charity when I die. Education programs. For kids who can't afford college. Nothing to Derek? Margaret asked. Nothing. He made his choice. Vincent drew up the papers. I signed them the same day. 6 months later, I got a letter from Derek. He was in rehab for gambling addiction. Vanessa had left him. He was sorry. He understood. If I never wanted to see him again, I put the letter in a drawer. Maybe someday I'd answer it. Maybe not. I thought about Sarah, about the life we'd built, about the son we'd raised who'd turned into someone we didn't recognize. But I also thought about the kids who'd get scholarships from the trust, about the lives that would change because of what Sarah and I had created. Derek had tried to take everything. Instead, he'd lost everything. And I'd learned something important. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love you are the ones you need to protect yourself from most. I was 70 years old. I'd earned my rest. But I'd also earned the right to decide what happened to what I'd built. Nobody, not even my son, was going to take that from me. I raised my coffee cup in my empty kitchen, the morning light coming through the windows Sarah had picked out 30 years ago. To the rest of my life, I said to no one. And I meant it.